First of all, good afternoon. Thank you for being here for our mandatory trip meeting. Guys, listen to me. We're going to go over a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. We're going to go for probably about the next hour and 45 minutes talking about things for you, and then we've got the big meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, okay, that we'll go over final details with your parents. Now, eyeballs up here on me. Now, of all the trips that we have taken over the past 24 years, the cruise is always the one that I always get a little antsy about because we are taking you out of the country, okay? That is why I get antsy about this thing. I keep humming to y'all. Is that just me? Okay. That's why I get antsy because number one, we're on a ship, okay? And things can happen on a ship, and I want to make sure that you're safe. Number two, I want to make sure that you're communicating with. How many of you guys here have never been on a cruise before? Thank you. Hands up. How many of you guys have been on at least 2 cruises? Hands up. How many have been on at least 1 cruise? How many have been on at least 5 cruises? Okay, so we have a few veterans in here. Now, in this, listen, for those of you that have never done this before, this is going to be a totally new experience to you. You're going to be out on the Gulf on a ship that's about the size of, 2 football fields in length, okay, with about 4,000 people on board and about 1,500 crew. All your food, all your entertainment is pretty much going to be on the ship except for our day in Cozumel. So, what today is about, the first time we took the cruise 8 years ago, we had 3 of these training sessions, and we covered something different. 4 years ago, we slammed all this into 1 training session, the same thing that we're going to do today, okay? So if you'll notice, you should have got a student meeting agenda. We're going to kind of follow this thing down. We've got some special guests who come in. Miss Linda Sanborn's going to come in here a little bit later and talk to you about some Spanish-type stuff. Mr. Schultz is going to talk to you as well. Need your attention, okay? But one of the biggest things, now 8 years ago, we took the band on a cruise, and I'll never forget, we were talking about dining etiquette and all that, and I said, we're going to eat in the dining room the first 2 nights, and the band was like, well, you're going to require us to eat in the dining room? I'd rather eat at the buffet. Okay, and no, you're going to eat in the dining room because we want you to go through this experience. Guys, we're taking this trip as a reward for you, but we're also taking it as an educational experience for you. Okay, and I'll never forget, we required them that first cruise, and I kept thinking, am I doing the right thing? And I remember the first night they came in, they're all like, man, this is really cool. The second night was formal night, and they were all just like decked out. And we were the best looking people on board the whole ship, of course, okay? And I'll never forget them coming in, and the guys are pulling out the chairs for the ladies, and they're starting to kind of dig this dining room thing. You got the waiter, the assistant waiter, the maitre d', and they're like, man, this is cool. It makes you feel important, okay? So the third night, we left Cozumel, and I'll never forget, the boat was rocking pretty bad. We had a front that came across, and so you could feel the boat kind of doing this going across the sea. And a bunch of them came to dinner that night, but a bunch of them got up and left and went back to their cabins because they were feeling so hot. But the 4th night of the cruise, which they weren't required, you won't be required either, the 3rd or 4th night, they eat in the dining room, they all came walking back in. It's like, guys, you didn't have to eat in the dining room. They were all wearing their coats and stuff. And they're like, oh, it's the last night of the cruise. We're doing it big time, okay? So, part of this experience is dining etiquette. So I want you to look at this. I want you to understand what we mean by dining etiquette. Guys, when you eat in the dining room there on a cruise ship, or if you go to like a formal dinner, and guys, I'm talking about something more fancy than Texas Roadhouse. That's about our fanciest restaurant in Milton, right? Okay? I'm talking Olive Garden, well, a little bit higher than all the chain restaurants. Look, you're going to have a maitre d', you're going to have a waiter, an assistant waiter. There'll be other folks that come around helping, okay? Listen. But you need to know some things. First of all, when you enter the dining room, look right here, Dining Etiquette 101. Guys, always let the ladies go first as you're coming through. You're going to notice when you're in the dining room as well, they've got these little machines. Stick your hand under and get the hand sanitizer, okay? A lot of people on board the ship, a lot of germs. You want to make sure before you eat that you clean your hands good, okay? So make sure as you go to the buffet that you do that. Like, guys, let the ladies go first. And then when you get in there, gentlemen, pull the chairs out for the ladies and help them. Be a gentleman about it, okay? Dining Etiquette 101. Now, once you're seated, keep your personal, I still got folks aren't paying attention. Come on. Keep your personal belongings off the table. Keep your electronic devices put away. You didn't go on a cruise to be on your cell phone the whole time. You might as well stay home. You see the same thing at home. Okay? That little screen. All right? So keep that stuff off the table. Keep your elbows off the table as well. You know, I said this, sometimes forearms resting against the table is fine, but don't be sitting at the table like this. Okay? especially if there's food on the table and people are eating. No burping, farting, blowing, or picking your nose. Discussing inappropriate topics. I had flatulation, and Ms. Weaver said they won't know what that is. So I said they'll know what a fart is, okay? So have some couth about you, okay? Make sure that you understand, and you will when you get in there. There's a very formal situation. The napkin, listen, what napkin's going to be on your plate. Now, I'm one of those, when I walk in as a guy, I pick up my napkin, it lays across your lap. If you leave it on your plate, the waiter's going to grab it and lay it across your lap for you, okay? But the napkin goes across your lap, and then the waiter's going to hand you, once everybody's at your table, come around and hand each of you a menu. Now, ordering the meal. Remember, they're going to give you, the menu's going to change up every night. There's going to be some things that are consistent on that menu, like they'll have like some kind of steak that'll be consistent every night. There'll be 2 or 3 things that are the staples that they serve every night. But every night there's going to be a different kind of fish. Every night there's going to be some kind of different kind of pasta, a vegetarian option, and different things like that. They'll hand you the menu. I recommend ordering an appetizer or 2. Listen to me. The food samples, we're used to Texas Roadhouse. We're used to Ryan's. We're used to big food samples. Olive Garden, you order an appetizer, comes out with 10 cheese sticks, right? So on here, when you order an appetizer of cheese sticks, there may be 2 cheese sticks and a little bitty thing of marinara sauce. Okay? It is what they call appropriate serving sizes. All right? We kind of oversize everything in here in our country. So, for example, if you order a fish taco, they may be about that big. Okay? It's a serving size. So, what I recommend, an appetizer too, there's always a couple of different salads on there, an iceberg lettuce wedge. There's always Caesar salad on the menu, different things like that. And there's always a couple of soups on the menu. Order what you want, but make sure you eat what you get. And you'll order an entree. You'll do all that. Once you're seated, the guy will come around with the menu, okay? Remember on the menu that everything is included, except at the bottom of the menu, there are some things like lobster tail, and it'll say additional $14 or something like that. If it has a price next to it, you pay extra. They'll still cook it and bring it to the table, okay? But most everything you're going to see on the menu under entrees and appetizers and soups and salads is included. All right, you follow me on that? But at the very, very bottom are those specialty items that cost a little bit extra. Now, general rule, don't reach across the table for anything that in your area. If you need the salt or pepper, don't just reach across somebody and get it. Ask them to pass it to you. Okay? Hopefully you already know that from home. If you do that, you may get bit. All right? So ask them to hand you stuff. Once you've ordered, then engage in casual conversation. Don't prolong the food ordering process because of personal conversations. You're sitting there, I'm sitting here talking to Curtis, and the waiter's standing there waiting to take an order. I'm like, dude, man, that was really cool in Cosmo today. Pay attention. Those waiters, you're going to see some of the hardest working people that you will ever see are the service folks on the cruise ship. Those waiters not only had your table, they've probably got about, 7 or 8 more. And they're trying to hurry up. They've already had one dining time at like 5:30, and we're at the 8:15 dining time. So they've already had one whole dining room full of people, and now we're in there, and they're trying to hurry up and get us fed in an hour and a half. Okay? So don't hold up that process. They're going to ask you, usually there's going to be water on the table. There'll be a water cup and different things there. Water's available, lemonade's available, unsweet tea is available. They have sweetener if you want to add sweetener to it. If you've got the soda plan, you can let your waiter know, hey, I've got the soda plan, I want a Coke. And usually there's a bartender guy that comes around, and they'll say, hey, Rachel right here, she needs a Coke. And they'll look at your card and see that you got the Coke plan and different things like that, okay? So, otherwise, it's water, lemonade, unsweet tea. Everybody follow me? Any questions thus far about the ordering process? Now, let's talk about what you're going to see. When you get to the table, most everything's already going to be set up. There's going to be a plate, there's going to be forks, spoons, knives, there's going to be little small plates, there's going to be cups and different things. Okay? It's going to look very similar to that, minus the cup and saucer probably won't be there. The plates part will be in the middle of the table. This right here probably won't be there. Now, first thing, you're going to see a plate sitting there. It's not going to have any food on it. That is called, just so you know, the underplate or charger. When they bring your appetizers out, this will be like a fancy plate. It'll have probably some kind of design around the outside, like a fine piece of china almost, okay? When they bring your appetizers out, they will stick that on the underplate, the smaller plates with your appetizers on, or they may simply remove it, okay? B and D. Let's talk. Well, let's look what you got up here. You got the. Notice a few things. These are labeled for you. You see the utensils. Always kind of understand this. You're going to have a bread plate. You're going to have drink glasses. They're probably the first time. There may be 2 or 3. They'll take the wine glasses out of the way. Okay? The most confusing thing, though, is we're in a large group, so there may be as many as 8 or 12 at a big circular table. There may be some of you that are tables for 4. Okay? But it's confusing when you sit down because the chairs are pretty close and you've got glasses and plates and glasses and plates. Which is which? So there's a little trick that I want to teach you. It's called the B and the D. Take your hand, put your thumbs together and look at it. D on your right side looks like a D. That's your drink glass. B, that's your bread plate. Last thing you want to do is reach over to your left and grab that glass of water that's half drank, but it's your neighbor's. You follow me? So, little trick. I sit there and go, even guys, I've been on 25 plus cruises. I go B and D, bread plate. All right? So, use your thumb, use your forefinger. A cool little trick. B and D, bread plate on the left, drink on the right. Everybody got that? Even in the middle of eating dinner, you're like, wait, which one's my drink? Because you're getting in close proximity. Now, forks, knives, and spoons. As a general rule, start on the outside and work your way in. Your appetizer fork, your salad fork will all be on the outside. Okay? As it comes further in, it's time for dinner. Same thing with your spoons and your knife. Now, they may bring you a different knife. If you order steak or something that really needs cutting, the waiter will walk up and he'll grab your butter knife, what I call it, your regular cutting knife, and give you a more potent type knife. Everybody follow me on that? Don't let that scare you. Now, utensils up here, don't touch them. That's for dessert. So start on the outside, work your way in. Okay, now listen. If you accidentally use your dinner fork or your salad, they'll throw you off the boat. Right, okay? You walk the plank. Actually, you're going to possibly make some mistakes like that. They probably won't even say anything. They'll walk up, they'll exchange your forks out for you. Okay, but general rule, start on the outside, work your way in. Okay, then note, when they get ready to bring your main dish, most of the time, they'll remove that charger or that underplate. They'll take it out of the way because your main dish will come and it'll be bigger. Okay? So don't let that fool you. Just start on the outside, work your way in. Smaller, which one's dead? Just leave it here on the batteries. The other ones are all dead. They're all dead. So, everybody understand that? Outside, work your way in. Bread, drink, stuff up top for dessert. Any questions there? If you have questions, you can always ask the waiter as we go. Now, when did the meals start to arrive? Guys, when they set your plate down in front of you, good dining etiquette says you don't just jump right in. Yeah, buddy! Okay? Wait for the folks at the table. 2/3 of them, once 2/3 of the people at your table have received their meal, then you may go ahead and begin eating. Okay? A large majority, 2/3 of the folks at your table. Okay? Then you can start eating. All right? Usually, they'll try to bring all the food out at the same time. They'll kind of come around with appetizers. Okay, you got the shrimp, you got the fish taco, you got the soup. They'll come around like that. They usually move pretty quick. Okay, but good dining etiquette says to wait. Appetizers will come first, then your soups and salads will come next. And they'll only bring out one dish at a time. Okay? This ain't Roadhouse where it's like, here you got the green beans, here's your appetizer, here's your potato. They only bring one dish. Let's say you order the fried shrimp appetizer. They bring it out. Once you finish it, they pick up the plate. A minute or so later, they come back with your next appetizer, with your soup or with your salad. Everybody understand that? Okay? Moving on. In that, if you're one of those people that order 3 appetizers, a soup, and a salad, don't lag behind. Don't be the slowest eater. Everybody else may only have 1 or 2 appetizers. And they're sitting there. They're not going to bring the main meals out until everybody's done with their appetizers. You follow me? So if you order a bunch, that's fine. Make sure, though, that you eat fairly quick and don't sit there and talk, because if Xavier's sitting there talking and everybody at his table is finished, they won't bring the main meal out until Xavier's finished with his meal, his appetizer. Okay? And then usually they bring all the meals right there at the same time. You'll see the waiters with the big trays with covers on them. They'll bring everything out at the same time. Now, once you finish your main meal, place your knife and fork at the 10-20 position. We're going to show you a video with this on it across your plate. That lets you know, the waiter, that you're finished. Most of the time they'll say, "Are you finished?" But on your plate, right across, fork and knife, right across. Like 10 o'clock and fork to 4 right there. Lay it across, that says I'm done with my meal. Follow me on that. 10-20 says that I'm done with my meal. And most of the time they'll still come up because they're used to some folks not having dining etiquette and say, "Excuse me, are you finished? May I take your plate?" Yes?
For the etiquette, are we supposed to use American style or are we use continental?
It's kind of a mix of continental style. I use, like when I'm using my fork and knife, I use continental style. You can use either or, okay? Listen, listen, we don't want to use redneck Milton style, okay? You with me? Fingers, caveman style. Listen up. Okay? Once everybody at the table has finished with their main meal, then they will bring another menu around, my favorite menu, the dessert menu. Okay? There'll be 7 or 8 desserts for you to choose from. Okay? Again, you can get more than one, but they will bring the dessert menu around, and then the waiter will come back around and say, "What would you like for dessert?" And they'll come around the table or something. If you don't want dessert, you say, "I wouldn't care for dessert. Thank you very much." Okay? But that's once they've cleared from your main entree. Now, once you've finished your meal, set your napkin to the left of your dessert plate with a soiled side down. You know, if it's got ketchup all over it, you don't want to stick it up. Again, it's about proper dining etiquette. Soiled side down, okay, to the left of your plate, not on your plate. Be sure to thank your dining room team, your waiter, your assistant waiter, as you're leaving that night for their service, because those guys will work hard. And of course, the same thing with your table mates. Excuse yourself from the table. Be sure to push your chair back under the table. Hopefully you've been taught that, you know, when you get up, you push your chair back under and all that. Everybody understands? We do this because, again, you got to learn from somewhere. Okay? A couple other things to know. If you got to leave during the meal, tell everyone, "I'm sorry, excuse me, I need to step out for a moment." Leave your napkin left side of your plate and push your chair back under the table. You got to run to the restroom or whatever. Ask everyone to, "Excuse me, I got to step out for a minute." Okay? Act civilized, well-mannered, gracious when you're on board. Right? Don't be hooping and hollering and loud and all that. Yes, you may sit and talk. Okay, in the dining room. You're going to see their activities in the dining room at night near the end of the meal. Sometimes the waiters they play dance music and the waiters put on a big dance type thing, or they sing songs to everybody, and the maitre d' gets up and on the microphone and sings and different things like that. Okay, kind of a joint thing. Also, this is a great chance to try new foods. Okay, escargot, snails, and that kind of stuff. Okay, that's on the appetizer menu. But listen. If you taste something you don't like, don't spit it in your cloth. These are cloth napkins. These aren't paper. Okay? Don't spit it in your cloth napkin. Eat it anyway, and any unpleasantries that you can eat, such as a fish bone, piece of gristle. Remove as much as you can off of it. Okay? And then place it on the edge of your plate. Not on your bread plate, but on your main plate. Try to follow me on that. You're eating fish. Get a fish bone. Don't put a big chunk of half-chewed fish and spit it out on your plate. Try to get the fish off and put the bone on the plate. You follow me? Sounds kind of gross, doesn't it? All right? But it happens. Sometimes you get that piece of meat that's like gristle. Okay, I'm gagging on it. You got to do something with it, right? Yeah. Now, listen to me. There are 2 dining rooms on board. We will all be in one dining room. We do not know which one yet until we get on board. The ship determines that. Okay? It'll be on your ship card. It'll have a table assigned. You'll be assigned by your cabin number. That's how they do it for everybody on board. Okay? Once we get everybody in the dining room the first night, once we're all in the first night, then we get everybody seated, then we'll allow you to switch up tables. We can't just say every man for himself because we don't know which tables are ours. There will be other guests amongst us. Does that make sense? The Smiths out of, Gulfport, Mississippi may be on board. And if we just go in and go, "Hey, let's grab this table, guys," just like you do at Wendy's or Hardee's or whatever, you may be seated at their table. The tables have numbers on them. Okay? So we'll get everybody, you'll sit at your seat the first time we get in there, and then once we get everybody seated, I'll try to hold the wait staff back, because a lot of times they're trying to go ahead and get your orders and stuff. I'll try to hold them back, and then we'll because I know some of you want to sit with other friends that you're not rooming with. Okay, everybody follow me on that. And then once we kind of get reseated, we'll need to kind of stick to that the rest of the time. Any questions about that? Again, you're all required Thursday night, Friday night to eat in the dining room. Matter of fact, I guess where I'm going to kind of check roll to make sure that we have everybody. Will be giving you announcements and so forth. Okay? What to wear for the dining room. If you'll look a little bit lower, a few things down, I'll just kind of go over this. Understand that shorts, blue jeans, t-shirts are not allowed in the dining room. Okay? Sandals, swimsuits, that type of stuff is not allowed. No jeans, no t-shirts, no shorts in the dining room. You need to have some type of, for regular dinner, on Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday, dressy casual. That's something kind of like what we're wearing up here. Okay? For the formal night, ladies, you need like a Sunday dress, a semi-formal, or even a formal dress if you want to dress to the max. That's fine. Guys, dress pants, dress shirt with tie, and I recommend coat as well. Okay? You may can get away without a coat, but try to borrow a coat or do something. Because again, you're going to see, it's captain's dinner. It's an elegant kind of thing. It's just like going to prom. You want to look nice. I've had some guys in the past that wore tuxes. That's up to you too. Okay? Any questions about dinner? No questions about dinner. All right. Well, next up, Miss Sanborn, we welcome you back to Milton High School. And Miss Sanborn, 8 years ago, guys, 8 years ago, we went to Cozumel. Of course, Miss Sanborn taught Spanish here, just retired last year. And 4 years ago, we went to where did we go? The Bahamas, right? So it's a little bit different, but she did this presentation, and we really appreciate it. Our students got a lot out of it. So if you'll look, actually, it's a bigger sheet. It says Spanish lesson for band crew. So grab that real quick and give her your invited opinion, please.
Hello. You just don't know how excited I was when Mr. Weaver called and invited me to come back and play the role of Spanish teacher again. Because I, after teaching for 35 years, 28 of them right here at Milton High School, I've missed you all terribly, terribly. So, you know what I'm doing now? Nothing. No. I am running for school board. So if any of you are registered voters, please consider me on the ballot. After all that experience, I feel like maybe I know something, right? Well, I do know some Espanol. And let me tell you this. When you're in Cozumel, and I've been there several times myself, you don't need to have to speak a single word. So don't be concerned. Cozumel is a tourist town. They welcome the tourists. And U.S. tourists, why do they welcome us? Money. And that's nothing negative. That's what they need. So they can speak enough English to get along with you without a problem. However, this band has a reputation of always being considered very well behaved, very gracious, very helpful. Is that still the reputation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Absolutely.
this is the reputation. People in a different country appreciate that you try to speak their language. Now, might you make a mistake? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Will they laugh at you?
Yeah. Yes.
No. Now, they might go home that night and tell their family about the student that tried to say something and he said something else instead. But they will not laugh in your face, and they will be extremely appreciative that you tried. That shows them that you care to get right? But some of you already know this. First off, the pronunciation in Spanish is very, very easy. Have you ever noticed in Spanish the letter A can be pronounced 15 different ways or whatever? Okay, and there are all these rules that have all these exceptions in English with pronunciation, and don't even try to spell it, right? In Spanish, if you can learn just these few little rules, you are good to know for pronunciation. Now, you might not know what you're saying, but you'll be saying it correctly. You'll be pronouncing it right. So, first off, we have the vowels. Same vowels as we have in English, but they sound a little bit different. So the first one there is ah. Say it for me. Ah. Everybody, ah. This is kind of like when you go to the doctor with a sore throat. You go to the doctor with a sore throat, and he has a little stick, and he says, say, ah. Everybody, ah. Next we have eh. Eh. Picture Mr. Schultz as an old man, and he can't hear, and he goes around and says, Okay, so we have ah. E. See the E? It looks like an I, but it's pronounced E. Okay? With me. Ah. E. O. U. Again. Ah. E. O. U. Now this time as you say it with me, notice what your mouth does. Ah, E, O, U. So what's happening? It gets right with every vowel. Good job. Okay, now, those are the most important things. Every word in Spanish has to have a vowel, and usually has more than one. But then there are a few other anomalies, things that are different. The letter, you see the N with the little, it's called a tilde, but you can call it squiggly mark over it. That means that it's pronounced like an N and a Y together. We have that sound in English in the word onion and in the word canyon. So it's nya. Spanish words, señor. What does señor mean? Señora. Mrs. Señorita. Yes. Okay, say them for me. Señor. Señorita. Señora. Do you know the difference between a señora and a señorita? Whether or not they're married, guys, pay attention to that. You don't want to hit on the señoras, but the señoritas might be okay. Next rule. And this is a hard one for you all. And H is always, 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 without exception, silent. So look at the name of that restaurant there. La Hacienda, not La Hacienda, and not Laja. If you want to abbreviate it, you must say La. Nobody will know what you're talking about. Just remember, H's are always silent. Now the letter J, it looks like a J, but it always makes a H sound. I appreciate you all practicing along the way. Okay, so do you see the word that is not jalapeno? That is jalapeno. Say it, jalapeno. Okay. Then there's the other pepper that I think is even hotter. Not habanero, what is silent. Okay? Then we have a single R that kind of makes similar to what it does in English. And the double R that is everybody. Now, if you cannot make that R sound, that double R sound, here is a piece of advice that one of my college professors gave me because I'd been studying Spanish by then for 10 years and I still couldn't make that sound. He said, go home and take a little match car and drive it around the house going brr, brr, brr. I was so insulted that I went ahead and learned how on my own. Okay. And then a Z always sounds like an S. So you're not going to the plaza, you're going to the plaza. Plaza. Okay. Now I've given you some little words to learn. You might want to write down the definitions because I didn't do it for you because, well, I wanted to challenge you. We can say these because now that you know those basic rules, you can say anything. So the first one there is Buenos Dias. Everybody, Buenos Dias. It means either good day or good morning. Again, Buenos Dias. And then afternoon, you would say Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Now, I can't tell you.
Oh, guys, way too much talking outside of what she's asking. Come on, you better now.
I can't tell you when afternoon becomes evening, except if it's after dinner, then we're going to call it Buenas noches. So, Buenas noches. Good night. Okay, do you see that next word there? Okay, let's see. I'm going to check. Can you say that for me? Follow the rules. H-O-L-A. Hola. She remembered the H is silent. Do not say hola. You're going to say hola. Everybody, hola. Hola. Muy bien. Okay, the next line. First off, do you notice that there's an upside down question mark? That is not a typo. That's one of the wonderful things about Spanish. You know when the sentence begins that it's a question. That's a hint. So, ¿cómo? Repeat after me. ¿Cómo está usted? That means, how are you? Everybody, ¿cómo está usted? Muy bien. So I responded, muy bien. You see it there? Muy bien. Y usted. And you. Now, you must always use words of politeness. Even if you can't say anything else, learn words of politeness. Por favor. Por favor. It looks like a favor there. Word for word, it means for a favor. It means please. Por favor. Everybody, por favor. And then at the top of the next column, do not say gracias. And don't say gracias. Every letter is pronounced other than the H. Okay, so this is gracias, gracias, gracias. De nada means you're welcome. In other words, word for word, it means it was nothing. De nada. Now, next line is extremely important. ¿Dónde está el baño? standing with your legs crossed, they'll figure it out. Okay? Donde está el baño? But this could also be, you could use this, donde está el café? Where's the restaurant? Donde está el barco? Where's the boat? Donde está el policía? The police? Donde está? Where is it? Okay? Now, I'm thinking some of you are planning to spend some money. You want to ask, ¿cuánto es? How much is it? Or you can just say, ¿cuánto? Okay? Don't worry about learning the numbers. I suggest you carry a little notebook, a pencil, and they can write the numbers down for you if you can't understand. Okay, the numbers, the digits, the numerals are written the same. When you say goodbye, you say adios. Adios. And by the way, and my students know this, that means A means to and Dios means God. So originally that was wishing that someone would go with God. And then it became one word in the history of the language, adios. And you can say, hasta luego. Until then. Okay. Now, that's just a few hints, just a few phrases. I have some suggestions there for you, some hints also. Try a few words. What's the worst thing that can happen? No, you're not going to cuss anybody out. I guarantee you. You don't know enough to do that. As a matter of fact, I don't know enough to do that. Okay, try. Everybody appreciates the effort. Smile. Smiling is the same in every language. So always smile and have a pleasant expression. You are very fortunate. You're getting to go there. These people that you're talking to in Cozumel or meeting, they most likely will never be able to leave their country at all. So for you to stand there looking like a sad sack, like it's the end of the world, like something's not going right for you, they don't understand that. Okay, be willing to haggle for items that you want to buy. So you see something that you want and you say, ¿cuánto es? And he says, $10. He doesn't expect you to pay $10. He's hoping you will, but he doesn't expect that. So it's fine for you to say 5, and he comes back with 8, and you end up at 7, or whatever. That is fine. What is not fine is for you to take that as a sport to see how low you can get him. He finally agrees to your price, and you say no and walk away. That's rude. That's cruel. That is not polite. Always you want to be polite. And the final item I said there is don't be an ugly American. This to me is the most important thing on this sheet. Now, being an ugly American has nothing to do with the way your hair looks or the clothes you wear or anything like that. Being an ugly American is an attitude. Americans in the world have a reputation for being ugly. Now let me say, instead of ugly, let me say arrogant. Do you know what arrogant means? Thinking you are better than anybody else just because you're an American. Or just because you have the money to go do that. In Mexico, they think that all Americans are wealthy. We are. We are compared to them. They see TV They see the houses that we live in on TV. They see that we have enough food. We are wealthy to them. But then we come down there, not just to Mexico, but to other countries, and we act like we are the only important people in the world. Let me give you an ugly American example. Some years back, my husband and I were in Guatemala, and we were visiting the Mayan and Aztec ruins. And one day, our tour guide took us back into the jungle to see a worship area of an Aztec Indian, Mayan Indian, I'm sorry. And he said to us, if you'll sit very quietly here and wait, one of the local farmers always comes here right about noon and has his worship service. And we saw that in front of us to the side, there was like I won't call it an altar, but something like that, a set aside part. And I noticed immediately that right in front of it, there was a strip of red fabric, about 2 feet long or so. I thought that was kind of strange, but okay. Well, as we're waiting for the farmer to come down from the jungle to have his little worship, an ugly American arrived. She walked up covered with cameras. I don't have anything against cameras. She had a big purse, and she had an attitude. And she got her camera all ready, and the farmer came down, and my husband and I and the tour guide were very quiet watching, and he started his service, whatever prayer or whatever he was doing, and our ugly American had her camera to her face and said, "That red cloth is messing up my picture." Went over and grabbed the red cloth and threw it in the woods. It was going to mess up her picture. Needless to say, we did not see that farmer have his service because he got up and left. Now, I've often wondered, what attitude does he now have toward Americans? Please realize you are not just representing this band and this school. You are representing the United States of America. And you may be the only American that some of these people ever get to know. And they will base their opinion on our country by the way you behave. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Seymour. Give it up, Ms. Seymour.
So, no pressure. Sorry. All right, we're going to go on the next thing. I'm going to show you how to get around this here ship. We're going to go on. Now, what? Now, understand, go ahead and pull up, and I know you won't be able to see it very well. It's the ship map. It looks a lot like this right here. Okay, I'm going to talk about every bit of this, but a lot of what I'm going to say is also going to be available on the ship. So don't think you have to remember word for word everything. I'm just trying to give you an idea of where this stuff is. So here's our ship, Carnival Fantasy. We're going to be here. You didn't know that yet? I'm basically going to start from the bottom, towards the bottom of the ship, and work my way up. So the far left of that paper, all the way up. Okay? This right here, it's not necessarily the bottom of the ship. Actually, this is the first part above the crew level where the passengers start staying. That's where the air deck. That's where the elevators, the bottom where the elevators will go. This is where all the boys will be staying here, the bottom, here, along with Mr. Weaver and a few adults going to be in that room. Now, if you are, what? Everybody's going to be in one room. Everybody, one room. Now, let me back up. I want want you right now to pretend like you're on a cruise ship right now. You're all facing forward, right? You're facing forward. You'll see signs throughout the ship that say the main stage, forward, Serenity deck, aft. Okay?
LWD.
Yeah. FWD. Yeah. F. This one's an A. Okay. Yes. So forward, that's the front. Aft is the back. You can remember the back however you want to remember, but that's aft. Okay? It's a three-letter word. Aft. Back. Okay. The left side is the port side. Left side is the port side. The right side is starboard. Okay? Now, getting back to this, you can't see the numbers on there, but you can go to our website, you can go to our website and have the link up there and find exactly where your room is once we tell you, actually you can see what room you're in. It's on the door, it's also on our website. But notice, all the even rooms are on port side, on all these levels. All the even side, even the ones in the middle here, all even numbers, all the even ones are on port side. All the odd numbers are on starboard. Okay? So remember that when you're looking for your room. On this particular level, the Riviera, there are actually three hallways. It's not like that on all of them. But just understand, you have this one, you have the one in the middle, which goes to these. I'm not even sure what kind of rooms. You don't think so? Those are service core. Okay. I couldn't figure out what those numbers do. Yeah. And then you have one on the right side. Just so you know, y'all seen hallways, but I just thought you'd like to know exactly what you're going to see. That's a hallway, right? It looks like a hotel. Okay. If you go down here, you see these little railings right here, guys. I don't know if there's going to be storms going through it, but this is a funny place just to sit and watch if there are waves, because this is when all the folks go through and try and walk through this, and you'll see them bouncing all over. Ask us Hyman about that. We all have this concerning Hyman. We should ask her about that. Anyway, I wasn't there for that. But that's what these railings are for. If you see two twins saying, "Come play with us," run away. What movie is that? Another movie? Okay. So anyway, yep, the sign. So that's the Riviera deck. I want you to notice a couple things with this. We have elevators towards the aft, elevators towards the mid, and elevators towards the forward, at the forward. Okay? 3 sets of elevators get you down here. 3 sets of elevators get you to the next deck. Ladies, some parents, me, John Whitten, and John Welsh are all on this deck. We are all staying right here on the main deck. Now, this is where it can get confusing. The main deck, you would think this is where everything is, right? No, it's not. We're going to get to that deck. I don't know why they call it the main deck. I guess they just named it for years. So it's called that. But it's the same thing. You have 3 elevators that get you to this point. I'm going to tell you all of our rooms and stairs. You have stairs. All of our rooms are right in the middle. We don't have port windows. Okay, so it'll be nice and dark in the rooms. You can actually sleep for a long time if you really want to. Okay. Working our way up to the upper deck, which again is misconceiving because it's not above everything else. It's just the upper deck. Shh, listen. Okay. Right here in the middle, actually not there. Right down here is where the rest of our adults are going to be. Right in this area. Okay. Making sure y'all know that so you know who to find where. If there's an emergency or anything, these are the rooms, okay? Boys, along with staff and some adults. With girls, along with staff and some adults. And then the rest of the adults are over here in the main deck, okay? Questions so far? Again, 3 elevators, 3 sets of stairs. All right, moving up. This is going to be the Empress deck. Yeah, the Empress deck. This is going to be where we'll probably load to get onto the boat, right here. And we start seeing a few changes. And this is the last of for the most part, of the residential cabins. You'll notice a couple things with this. The big thing is the guest services desk. Shore excursions, I'm probably not going to need to go with that for anything. But guest services, if you when you check in, you don't get your Coke plan, or you didn't get the water or whatnot. You can do that when you get on the boat. You realize, oh yes, whatever day in, yes, I want that Coke plan. That's where you're going to go. The Empress deck. Overlook. Okay. Well, you can get guest services. Yeah. All right. Also, with this, this is where we add our newest set of elevators to the Grand Spectrum Plaza hoo-ha thingamabob thingy. Okay. And this is one of the coolest parts of the ship. This is where you're going to want to stand and just look up, because that you get to look straight up, essentially 5 stories or 5 decks, all the way up to the glass roof. And this is actually where we're going to take our group photo right here on these stairs. But you can see these elevators right here we've added here. They are glass elevators, and they go all the way up to the top. These are actually there are 2 sets of elevators that take you all the way to the very top of the ship. There's only 1 set of elevators that goes from the very bottom to the top. I'll show you those. But yeah, this is a fun place. Just stand and look up, admire. You can see straight through, and you can, just watch all that. Okay. Next, moving on up to the Atlantic deck. This is a very important deck right here, because this is where we're going to be eating dinner each night. Now, Mr. Weaver said we're not sure which dining rooms. We'll find that out when we get on the boat, but this is where the dining rooms are. You have the Jubilee dining room towards the aft of the boat, and you have the Celebration dining room towards the forward, almost mid-forward of the boat, okay? Another thing that is very forward on the boat, the front of the ship, is there is a nightly show. And not just nightly shows, there's all sorts of things happening in this. But there's a nightly show that happens, and it's kind of a musical type Broadway thing. It's not full on Broadway, but it pretty much is. And it's right here, the stage, and the Universe main lounge. Right there, there's actually 2 floors. There's a balcony, which is on the next deck, and then the main floor is right there. They also have throughout the day, they'll have bingo, they'll have our first meeting is going to be in there? Okay, so that's where our first meeting is going to be, right there. I'm sure they'll guide us that way. But, again, that's on the Atlantic deck. And you can see where the elevators are. There's 4 sets of elevators. 4 sets of elevators at this point. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fun shops. These 2 right here. Yeah, these 2 right here. They do have gift shops. That's what those are. They call them fun shops. You can actually buy gold, you can buy jewelry, you can buy watches. They have thousands of dollars worth of watches in there. On this side, usually on this side is more like stuffed animals, shirts, the cheaper stuff. But I will tell you, once we get out into the sea, it is duty free at those places, which means no taxes. So they jack up the prices and everything else, but you won't pay taxes. Yeah. All right. Teens 17 and under. This is one of the first places too that you can that you'll be able to hang out. This is lower place, Circle C, right there. And I think they have a few arcades. I know the next deck up has an arcade, but this will have a few of that too. There's also a library for those that just feel like you just want to get a book and read. Right there, right on the step. Right next to that, a piano bar. Yes, it is a bar. However, they'll have live performances there. They'll have people that come up and sit. There's a piano right in the bar. You can sit and watch and have a listen. They also have that really on the deck below, the Empress deck, right there in the middle. They usually have someone that's playing all the time, right there. Piano, little band, whatnot. Okay, moving on up. Next deck, promenade. What do you do at prom? Fear for your life. Dance. Yes. So when you think of the promenade, when you want to know where all the dance clubs are, that's on the promenade deck. Okay, deck 9. I'll start from the back of from the aft. Right here, this is off limits. This is Serenity Deck. Adults only. Well, adults only, right there. Okay?
I'm an adult.
18 and older, 18 and older right here. I'll go ahead and say there's two jacuzzis and a little pool up there. Thank you. Shh. Again, we're at the back of the boat, the aft. Moving forward, right here, the forum aft lounge, karaoke, comedy clubs, comedy. There's usually something going on there. Our Sunday meeting is going to be the promenade deck right there at the back. Dance club right there, right next to that. Let's see, moving on up. There's another bar. Elevators. I'm trying to get to. Yeah, there are some dance clubs right here. Right mid section of the boat. There's two of them. Again, promenade is where you go. Right behind the casino. Okay? Right here. Moving forward, Club O2. I do have a picture on that one. Club O2. This is another team hangout spot. Where are those dancing people? There we go. Don't overthink the whole thing. Alright. Tyler Hines, I think that's how you made this picture. Okay, anyway, Club O2, it's a dance club. You can see right next to that is the arcade. Okay, moving forward. By the way, right here on this same deck, right next to the casino, right here, there used to be a sushi bar. I don't know if it's still going to be there. But this is a nice place if you want to stay inside AC, but get a good view of the ocean or the islands right here. They have all these. And sometimes right here they'll have trivia games too. I know in the past I've seen them have that right there. Okay? Going forward, photo gallery. Every photo you take on the ship ends up right here. There's walls and walls of photos right here on this gallery. And you can person right then, get them, or I mean you can use your card, get them right then, or you can wait. But yeah, anything they'll take your photo all the time. Moving forward, here's the upper floor, the balcony of the Universe main lounge. Okay. Next, the Lido deck. This is where the deck party is going to be. This is where the pool is. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is also going to be one of your. This also needs to be one of your first stops when you get on the ship. Why? Because right here is the buffet. The aft of the Lido deck. Not just a buffet, but they also have a pizza bar, and I believe this pizza shop right here is open 24 hours. Okay. Yeah, you won't be able to take advantage of that, but okay.
There's also deli sandwiches and
Yep. They are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay? Moving through, let's see. There's an outside cantina, bar, there's sometimes there's food right here too.
Guys Burger joint.
Oh, Guys Burger. Yeah. Okay? I mentioned the deck party. Right here, there's the main stage. They also have some great games that happen there. I know they have the Harry's chess contest on that. So, all right, the pool. Let's see if I got a picture of the pool. Yeah, right here. All right, so this is the Lido deck. Okay, all the people. I want you to notice something. There are a ton of chairs right here, and that's how it will look. This pool is deceptive. It is not an Olympic-sized pool, okay? It is what it is, and it's really fun whenever we hit some waves, because that has waves in it too. Yes, it has a slide, but I kind of get your bearings. This is looking towards the aft, the back of the ship, okay? All right, next, let's see, working our way up. That's pretty much it. Again, elevators still getting us there. In a little bit, these elevators are going to stop, and we're down to 2, which is the next day. Moving up, the veranda deck. The big thing with this one is what's happening at the aft of the ship, and that's these slides right here. Yes, they're there. Let me get a picture of that. All right. Boom. All right. What you need about these slides is once you get going, these tunnels just spit you right out into the Atlantic. But yeah. So yeah, guys, these are there. They have people manned, they have lifeguards and all that. More chairs towards the aft. This does sit almost on top of the Serenity deck, a Serenity area. Yeah, that's what that looks like. No, you don't have to pay to use the slide. You just have to stand in line. Okay. Towards the front of that are the towards the front of that is the high-end rooms. I don't even need to worry about those. Okay. 2 more decks. Next deck up, the sports deck. I'm sorry. And at this point, there are only 2 elevators: the glass elevators and the forward elevators on the port side. These get you up here. What you need to know for you, if y'all want to work out, go to the gym. This is the way. This is where it is. Fitness center. Find the Sanborn. Yes, there is a spa. You have to be 16 to use the gym. Okay, there is a spa. Yes, there is a spa with massage rooms and saunas and all that. There are a lot. Yeah, you can. I'm going to tell you now. You can use these guys, but it is money that you don't spend immediately at the end of the cruise. That's when you get that bill. So, I mean, how much does it cost? You can win a free massage on the boats. You can do that. They have that. But an average one is about $100. So, at least. All right? What? Yeah, everything that you spend on the cruise is on that card. You get the bill at the end, which lets you know, hey, we just deducted this amount from your bank account. Okay? Yeah. Fitness centers does not cost money. Fitness centers does not cost money. Okay? The final deck, and this is one of my other my personal favorite areas. And I'll show you why. The top deck, the sun deck, there's more chairs, but there's mini golf. And I'll show you that. It's free. Mini golf, yeah. There it is. Okay. That's what it looks like. Okay. Listen. I know you're all excited. I am too. Mini golf right here. You also have an outdoor track. It is not a quarter-mile track, okay? But it's an outdoor track. Now, I'm going to tell you, if any of y'all like the movie Titanic or have seen it and want to do that, the scene, the I'm the King of the World scene, the closest you can get to that is right here. You go to the top and you come out, and right there. You can't get to the nose of the ship because that's where the crew is. You can actually watch them party, and it's hilarious to watch. All right, but yeah, right here, and I can tell you, I encourage y'all to just go out there and take a look at some point, because you can, when the boat's really moving, probably the first night, you can stand right here, and that wind's just blowing, and it's just surreal. It's just very surreal. It's wide open. You see the ocean, and that's it. But yeah, this is top deck. Sports deck. Again, there'll be directions and all that on the ship. Yes. Yeah, they do, and when the waves go in the ball, you can get a hole in the water.
Yeah, the ship doesn't rock that bad.
No, it's atrocious. They'll go side to side. All right, any questions about where to go on the ship? Yeah. No. What? Mr. Reed was telling me there is one. Oh.
They'll have different activities on the sports deck.
All right, come down. Yes, they do have shuffleboard. Yes.
Where will the flames be located?
We'll show you first.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Guys, we got a lot of information to go over. Please, I need your attention. Need you quiet, okay? Now, we just talked about finding your way around the ship, which leads me to the next point, safety. Again, my biggest concern always is that you make sure that you're familiar with your surroundings and aware of your surroundings. In that, always be aware of your surroundings. Don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. What do I mean by that? Don't go up on the sports deck to pull the Titanic thing, at 11 o'clock at night. We're the only person up there. You follow me? Listen. Guys, I'm being dead serious. Okay? Your safety is most important to me. We're going to leave and go on this cruise and come back with the same amount of people that we took. I don't want to lose any of you, and I don't want to gain any of you. Do you understand? Okay? Okay? So, I say that because there are other people on board this boat, okay? You've got to be smart about what you do. And that's your parents' biggest concern. That's always one of our concerns. Number one, don't climb on railings, or the next thing, or things not intended to climb on. Okay? You hear me? Don't go to the side ship railing and say, hey, y'all watch me. I'm going to stand up here. Because I want you to think about something. If you were to do that and fall off in the Gulf, how long can you tread water? Because it may be a while before that ship realizes you're missing. And then they're not going to have any idea where you are. And guys, I'm being serious. I'm being real serious. Because I want you to think about that. Treading water and thinking, well, I'm probably going to die. So don't do stupid stuff. You follow me? Okay, so stay off the stuff you're not supposed to climb on. Use a buddy system. If you're outside on the decks at night, the pool deck and the one above the pool deck, I wouldn't go any higher at night than that. But, don't be back there by the water slide that's closed down late at night by yourself. There are mean people in the world. You with me? Okay? So, and I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to be real with you. Make sure that you think about those things. I'm a big guy. I'm not going to walk around somewhere necessarily by myself late at night. I don't want some evil person to come along and try to throw me overboard. You with me? Now listen, here's what I want you to understand though. The railings on those ships are not little bitty railings where somebody can just push you and you fall over. They're usually at least up to here. So somebody's got to crawl up on the railing to fall over. You follow me? When you hear about, eyeballs on me, come on. Boy, we're talking. Come on. When you hear about people that are missing off of ships, usually it's from a balcony room. We don't have balcony rooms. We have interior rooms, okay? So I want to kind of reassure you on that. But use a buddy system when you go somewhere. Don't go into cabins of other people that's not associated with our group. Don't beat somebody on board and like, hey, man, come over to our cabin. We're at a party. Okay? Don't do that. You may end up going over the balcony, John. I'm talking, so, okay? You hear me? You stay, if they're not with our group, you stay in their rooms. Extremely important. Of course, boys, you don't go into girls' cabins at all, even if they're with our group. Girls, you don't go into boys' cabins at all, even if they're with our group. You follow me? Everybody understand that? Now, moving on, curfews. Each night, guys, we will give you a curfew. Now look, your parents are probably going to go, what, midnight? There's a teen club for those that are 17 and under. There's a disco club for those that are 18 and older. Okay? And the teen club usually most nights doesn't close till 12 or 1. So the curfews are going to be late. But when it's curfew time, whether it's midnight or whether it's 1 a.m., that's our 2 curfew times. What we tell you, everybody needs to be in their room, and everybody needs to stay in their room, because I don't sleep on this cruise. If I sleep, it'll be during the day. I'll walk the halls and I'll look. Okay? We ask you to be in your room because nothing good happens after that time until the sun comes up next morning. You follow me? The only things that are happening are things that can get you hurt or in trouble. You follow me? So, make sure, listen, make sure you're in your room for room checks. It's going to be adults that come around. We're not using leadership on the cruise ship. I told you this is one of those, just like New York City, one of those trips where I'll worry a little bit more. It'll be one of the staff members, Ms. Weaver, myself, Mr. Schultz, Mr. Whidden, and some of us that will be coming around to do your room checks at night. So make sure you understand that. Again, use good common sense, use good judgment. You follow me? We want to make sure that this is a great trip, a memorable trip. Now, in that, trip parents, check-ins, mandatory meetings, each room has been assigned 2 adults. And that's going to be what we call your cabin team. so to speak. So if there are 4 people in your room, there are 2 adults. The 2 adults are going to be your trip parents. They're going to be the ones that kind of check in on you at the different times, and we'll talk about that here a little bit later. They're going to be the ones that help you get on board the boat and get off the boat, your trip parents and your cabin teams, you and your roommates and your trip parents. Everybody follow me on that? We get to the Port of Mobile. They're going to have your documentation that you're giving us tonight. Okay? They're going to help get you through and get you on board, and then they're going to check on you at different times during the ship. During the days at sea, you're going to be required to check in with them. I'm asking you to do that between 11 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock, that you check in with your trip parents. All 4 of you, or all 3 of you, have meetings in that room, so they know that you're okay. And we've got some other built-in times where we're going to check and make sure that everybody's there. When we go to Disney World, it's easy. We lock you in the park. Tell you not to go anywhere. If you go, you got to go with your groups. Okay? We put everybody on the bus and we do a head count. Okay? Or if we go to the Smoky Mountains. On board the ship, we're staying at our hotel. So we got to make sure that we have these checks and balances there. We are going to have 2 mandatory meetings, so that you know the first one will be on Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We're going to get on board about 12:30, 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, us and the Hewitt Trustbill Band that's also on board from Birmingham area, we've got a meeting in the main show lounge with our Festival at Sea's representative. Okay, his name is Jason. He's from New Orleans. And he works for Festivals at Seas, the group that with the travel company that we had to go through. And he's going to give you a lot of safety information that you'll need to know. We'll also have another meeting on Sunday afternoon where he'll give you information about what the last day of getting off the boat will. They'll give you all the steps, filling out the U.S. Customs forms, and all the things that we have to do for that. Okay, so make sure that you're aware of that, those 2 meetings. Now, the biggest part of today, the rules. I didn't want to cover this in the meeting tonight. I wanted to go over this stuff with you. Listen to me. We have you all year, and I don't have any concerns with any of you, maybe 1 or 2 of you, okay, about following rules. But don't give me reason, or Mr. Schultz reason, not to be able to trust you, okay? There are rules that go along with these kind of trips, just like there are rules with all the trips that we take, but especially on a band trip, we expect you to abide by certain things, and we're going to look at these, okay? If you don't go by these rules, there are consequences. We're going to take care of some of this stuff on board. The other consequences, we're going to get back and we're going to remove you from this program because we can't trust you anymore. Okay? Number 1, legal drinking age on board is 21, and it is strictly enforced. Okay? I don't care if somebody says, I'm going to buy you a drink. You don't take it. Okay? You follow me? You with me? There'll be other people, maybe even college age on board, that are having a good time and doing their thing. You don't do that stuff. All right. If adults, same thing. Parents don't get the minors and different things like that. If you got possession of alcohol, it won't be tolerated. We'll confiscate, and then we'll take the appropriate disciplinary action. This is a cruise. This is not a spring break party. Okay, it's a high school party, but it's not one of those kind of parties. You with me? Number 2, guys, you got to attend all the onboard mandatory meetings that are set by Festival at Seas, by Carnival. The one set by Carnival is the emergency drill before we leave port. Everybody, they check rooms, they make sure that everybody's at their stations, their muster stations, their emergency stations. And of course, anything that we set as a band staff or as your assigned teams, make sure you're at all the meetings. Number 3, drugs and tobacco products is illegal, and again, appropriate action will be taken. So no alcohol, no drugs, no tobacco. Got it? Number 4, passengers under the age of 18 are not permitted to use the casinos or over 18 designated lounges or deck areas. So, you've got to follow the rules on board the ship. Now, he mentioned Serenity Deck. Those that are 18 or over, you're welcome to use a Serenity Deck. Okay, 18 and over, we're going to meet. I'm going to give you some options that you can do later on here, but we will talk about that from everybody else. Okay? Those that are under 18, you've got to stay out of those 18 or over. You're going to see a lot of the nightclubs and stuff at night. There's security. The security on Carnival, they don't mess around. Those guys are trained, I think, over in India, and they do not mess around. Okay? They'll be standing there, they'll be checking IDs and so forth at the adult thing. So don't even push that kind of stuff. Okay? No abusive, offensive, vulgar language or behavior should be directed towards any other guest or to the staff or crew. Again, be pleasant, follow the rules, and you're going to do fine. All right? Don't go around cussing like a sailor just because you're on a boat. Right? But use appropriate language, appropriate conversations, that stuff. Look at the last one on that page. You did not pay big money to take your, well, number one, I'll tell you the TVs won't hook up video games, I would know, okay? But no video gaming systems, sound system things are allowed, such as Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, all that stuff needs to be left at home. You can't play it on the TV anyway, okay? But you didn't pay almost $550 a person for you to stay in a cabin to play video games. You should have saved your money to stay at home and did that next week. Everybody follow me on that. Get out and enjoy the ship. Small handheld video games and such, make sure you got headphones. You don't want to walk around with what are those little Game Boys and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. You have headphones, that'll be okay. All right? Speakers. I know, and I need to carry a little wireless speaker sometimes because I want to play some music or something in my room. They're not permitted in the public areas. Now, if you got a little small wireless speaker for your room and you keep it so it's not disrupting the people around you, I'm okay with that. All right? But if it starts to get too loud, we'll just take it up, or we'll give you a warning first. Everybody follow me on that? It used to say boom boxes. Ms. Weaver said y'all wouldn't know what boom boxes are. Okay. So, headphones must be used with all sound devices in public areas. And guys, most of these rules came from Carnival. Okay, from the shredding to no running in the hallways or on the decks. Number one, you don't want to run down the deck, especially around the pool area, because you'll hit some water, and then you'll be in the emergency area. Okay, once you've been out, we have seen that before. Okay, so don't run down the hallways either. What you're going to find is if you run down the hallways, you can hear it like in all the rooms and all that, because if you've ever watched them build those ships, they build everything outside and they kind of lay the rooms on top of each other inside the ship. All right, so don't run. No congregating in the hallways or elevator lobbies near the cabins. And I've seen this some when I've been on board ships. Listen, guys, those stairwell areas, elevator areas are not for teenagers to sit around in a group. There are plenty of public areas. He mentioned the promenade. The promenade is one of the coolest decks to me because as you walk past the casino and you walk down outside the dance clubs and all that kind of stuff, there's all these tables and big picture windows. Great gathering place is right there on the promenade deck. Or at the bottom of the Centrum area there. Okay? There's plenty of tables and chairs in different public places for you to meet. Don't block the hallways or the stairwells meeting there. You're going to hear this again, I'm sure, next Thursday on our big meeting. If you damage the room, theft of the rooms, anything like that, then the room is going to be charged. And if we can't figure out who in the room did it, it'll be divided amongst the people in the room. So please be careful of that. No noise in the cabin areas, the corridors, that's the hallways. After 11, we'll set curfew each night for you. Now, you know, if it's midnight, you're headed back to your room prior to curfew, then just go down the hallway quietly, but don't be like all loud and stuff going down, because there are other people on board that are sleeping. Members can't enter cabins assigned to members of the opposite sex. Again, girls stay out of boys' rooms, boys stay out of girls' rooms. Pretty much the same thing with chaperone rooms. Don't be hanging out in a chaperone room or a staff room unless it's official business. That just won't, you know, I'm not going to have you come hang out in my room just to be cool. Okay? That just doesn't look right. All right? All it takes is a door closing and then rumors start. So, members, again, stay out of other passengers' cabins that aren't affiliated with the group. This is for your safety. Now, guys, it's important that we're on board, that we have good communication. One of the biggest frustrations used to be, to me, was that if your roommates left and you didn't know where they went, it was hard to find them on the ship. So make sure you communicate with your roommates what your plans are. If Mr. Schultz is looking for you and he found one of your roommates and yet they know that, hey, they're going to this trivia game at 3 o'clock, it's a lot easier to find people that way, okay? Also, there's an out we're going to talk about a little later that's going to help with that. But think about that and let people kind of know what your plans are. Room check will take place immediately at following curfew each night. If curfew's at midnight, probably within about 15 minutes, the ones that are doing the guys' rooms will be around, about 15, 20 minutes. The ones that are doing the girls' rooms will be around. Make sure that somebody in your room is awake. Listen to me. We give you a late curfew so that you can have fun and enjoy the ship. There's nothing worse from our perspective than to stand out there beating on the door for 20 minutes until finally somebody wakes up and goes, hey, there's somebody beating on our door. Okay? It's very frustrating. And we've gone through that stuff before. So somebody, I'll take turns staying awake so that we can come in and check and make sure everybody's there. If you have an emergency, first try to contact your trip parents, the 2 adults that have been assigned to you, then myself or Mr. Schultz. Once we arrive in Cozumel, make sure to report to your designated location at the appropriate time. Most of the excursion teams are going to be at 8 o'clock that morning. We'll have meeting locations, okay? Make sure that you meet with your excursion teams, that you stay in the parameters wherever they tell you to go, and that you don't wander off. Very important. If you give directions by chaperone leaders, make sure you follow those directions. Guys, it's just like marching band. Chaperone tells you to do something, unless it's illegal, unethical, or immoral, you do it. If there's a question about it, later on you find me and Mr. Schultz, and we'll try to work through it. Okay, but do not be rude to any chaperones. That's extremely important to me and Mr. Schultz. Be courteous and respectful to the other guests on board. Behavior should be of a somewhat mature manner in all aspects of the trip. I want to share this story with you. Look up here. I know we've thrown a lot of stuff at you. I get it. Your butt probably hurts because you've been sitting all day. Listen to me. First cruise we took. Second cruise wasn't as memorable. The first cruise I was worried to death. I'll never forget. We pulled into Port Mobile. We took school buses to Port Mobile. And we had all these passengers. The school buses, they made us park off to the side and wait till they were ready for us. And I'll never forget the look on all these passengers' faces in their cars. They pulled up and saw 4 or 5 school buses. You can see that, oh crap, look on their face. We were on board with a bunch of school children. Okay? And we talked to Van about this, and I'll never forget, later on, once we got on board the ship and our students were so well behaved and courteous of other guests, of having folks come up and go, you're the band director guy, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh crap, here we go. I just want to tell you how polite and how nice your students are. Listen. Okay? They were bragging on our students. So we were the only band on board that cruise. I'll never forget, we got to Cozumel, that some of the students came up and said, man, some of the folks off our ship, I was looking at the souvenir and they said, hey, we're going to buy that for you. We're so impressed with your group. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen. Okay? But listen, that's the kind of reputation that we want to leave. A lot of folks are going to get on board next Thursday and go, there are 2 high school bands on here. Are you kidding me? But we want to show them that bands are different. You with me? That we're not, thugs and all that kind of stuff. Now, drama, issues. That likes drive me nuts. I know that's the way. Drama and issues. Don't let that ruin your trip. You know what? If your boyfriend breaks up with you, there are probably 50 more that would date you on this cruise. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? So, listen. Guys, I share it every year. Listen. Never forget San Antonio, Color Guard Girl, never forget. Still know her. I see her every once in a while. She works at a local business, and I laugh every time I see her. But we're standing outside the buses at the old band room, and her boyfriend, bro, he wasn't in band. He broke up with her before we got on the bus. And we spent a whole trip to San Antonio, Texas, and back with her crying. At breakfast. At lunch. I mean, after a while, I just got tired of it. It's like, just grow up. Okay? But, listen, guys, things like that are going to happen. You paid good money. You've worked hard all year. You deserve to have a good time. Don't let that silly stuff, don't let it ruin your trip. Don't let drama with other people ruin your trip. Be above that. Okay? Extremely important. You deserve it. Last, right there, always serve as a great representative of our band program, our school, our families, our community, our country. As Ms. Sanborn shared, make sure you're a good representative, that we impress people by what we do. That is our reputation. You heard Ms. Sanborn ask you that. You can ask Mr. Schultz. We love it when we go on band trips somewhere out of the area. And folks, we walk out of a restaurant and they go, I just got to tell you, that was one of the most mature, polite groups that we've ever seen. Is that right, Mr. Schultz? It makes us extremely proud. Okay, so let's keep that reputation. Consequences. Guys, if you mess up, we're going to take care of it. You know that. Okay? What does that mean? If you mess up really bad, you may end up, sleeping on the floor of an adult room and being under chaperone arrest or staff arrest, where you'll be with us wherever we want to go, whatever we want to do. Don't lose your privileges. You follow me? Don't make us do that. You could get kicked out of band. You could get some kind of trouble with us. Make sure that we want to have a great trip too. We don't want to spend our time having to stay on you about behavior. So help us with that. Now, any questions about the rules? Pretty simple. We just ask you to do the right thing. You'll be good. What to expect? Next Thursday morning, okay, we're going to be gathering all up here. Luggage, probably have you leave your big luggage and so forth outside. We're going to be gathering up here, and we're going to load the buses. We're going to meet about 10 o'clock next Thursday morning. When we meet at 10 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and put you in your cabin teams. That's you and your roommates and your 2 adults. And your 2 adults are going to check, make sure that we have all your documentation. Those of you that are 16 years or older will need a government-issued photo ID, either a military ID or a driver's license. We recommend. We've read somewhere
I want to do
where.
a quick sound check just to make sure that you guys can hear me. So, if you can, someone just let me know when you're.
I'm on his computer. Okay, I was trying to figure out what that was. I thought it was announced from the office. So, listen, photo ID, 16 and older. Okay, they said something about school IDs. I would be scared to do that. All right, we'll make sure we got everything. Then we're going to start the loading process. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. But so you know, the big instruments, what we call the checked luggage, will go underneath the second and third stall of the bus. Okay. So, Netflix, that's where. No,
We're
something
coming
else.
in at 6:30.
Okay. So, listen. So, checked luggage. What do I mean by checked luggage? The stuff that you don't need for the first few hours of the cruise is going to go underneath the bus. Your carry-on bag, the stuff that you want to keep with you, is going to go up top on the bus with you. If it's too big to go up top, we're going to put it in the first stall. Okay? Now, so we'll get everything loaded, and then we'll load up on the buses. You've already signed up for buses. We'll put those bus lists out a little bit later on. You'll get on the buses. We'll check for all you get on the buses. We're going to go to Mobile. It's only about a 50-mile drive to the Port of Mobile. Once we get to the Port of Mobile, so that you know, the buses will pull underneath, kind of where the cruise terminal itself is kind of like a big open garage that they pull through. And the charter buses will get off, or we'll pull in. We'll get off the buses. The porters, those are the guys that work at the Port of Mobile. They will unload all of your checked baggage. Okay? That's why that morning at 10, for every suitcase or bag, you should only have no more than 2, that you were checking, you need to bring a dollar bill. You're going to give that to your trip parents. They're going to give that to Mr. Schultz. When we get to the Port of Mobile, you won't touch your suitcases except for what you're carrying on board the boat with you. They will unload all that out of the boat. That dollar is a tip per bag. Mr. Schultz will give that to the porters. Okay? The porters will take your luggage, and they'll make sure it gets on board the ship. Now, it may be 6, 7 o'clock before your luggage appears outside the door of your room. Okay? So they will. They'll just move it. It'll be sitting outside the door of your room at some point, probably between 5 o'clock or maybe even as early as 4 o'clock and 7, 8 o'clock that night. Okay? Once we get to Port of Mobile, you'll break into your teams. We'll go through security. All right? It's just like airport security. They don't make you take off your shoes, though. But all your metal objects will go in through the x-ray. Your carry-on bags will go through the x-ray. You'll walk through the thing, and if something goes off, they'll line you just like they do at the airport. Okay? But everybody will have 2 or 3 security lines. Everybody will go through security. Then eventually you'll hit an escalator, and you'll head up top. Once you get up top, you'll be in more lines. It's going to look like it's going to take forever, but it'll go quick, I promise you. You'll get into the registration area. You'll have those zigzag lines. You'll get into zigzag lines with your 4 roommates and your 2 adults. And they'll have probably 30 or 40 different personnel that are checking in one room at a time. And so once as you get up there at the end, the carnival rep will go to number 29 right here, and the person at number 29 will welcome you guys, and they'll take you through the check-in process. They'll give you your sign and sell cards. They'll take your picture so that they've got it for security reasons, and all that right there. Okay, then once you go through that, you'll have a chance to take photos and so forth going on board the boat with the Carnival Fantasy as the background, and then you'll head on board the boat. And then once you get on board the boat, if you got to pay your cash down, if you did not use your credit card, which you'll give them at the registration, that's where you'll go to the person who just pay your cash. But you'll want to grab some lunch from the buffet. Lido Deck Buffet, Guy's Burgers, one of my favorite burger joints ever, is up there, okay? Grab some lunch. Cabins will not open until about 1:30. That's when they open the hallways up on the deck so you can get to your cabin. And then we've got a meeting at 2 o'clock in the main theater with the other band and the guy from Festival of Seas. That'll last probably about 45 minutes. And then at that, you want to explore the ship. Now, about 3:30, they will do the emergency drill. You'll go to your muster station. I'm going to tell you this. Eyeballs up here. The first part of getting on a cruise ship is always the most stressful. If when you first get on board and you're thinking, I don't like this, it's going to get a lot better, I promise you. Okay? I don't like it. I've been on 25 plus, and I hate getting on board. There's so much to kind of, so many hoops to jump through. Okay? Once emergency drill has taken place at 4 o'clock, the Carnival Fantasy will pull out a port. I recommend that you're on one of the outside decks. They'll go on the Lido deck where the pool is. They'll have usually live music going up there, and it's just kind of a big party, and you can be on the Lido deck or the deck above it and hear all that. But you'll want to watch as we're pulling away from the Port of Mobile. Then we'll go down the Alabama River. We'll hit Mobile Bay. And then as we start to get on Mobile Bay, you'll kind of want to be out there. It's kind of cool. You'll see the big lighthouse that you usually don't see unless you're going out of Mobile Bay. You can't see it from the interstate. And you'll start to see the oil rigs and different things around the Gulf. So it's kind of cool. So I recommend that you're out there on the outside decks at some point during that. Now, your days at sea are going to be what you make your days at sea. Friday's a day at sea, Sunday's a day at sea, whatever you want it to be. You can sleep in, you can get up, watch the sunrise, you can get up, go eat breakfast in the dining room, or go eat at the buffet. Okay? It's whatever you really want it to be. You know, you can sleep in till noon or whatever. Now, it'll be easy to do in those interior cabins unless, you can't see the sunrise, so you really won't know what time it is unless you set an alarm. But there are activities on board, different things for you to do, trivia games. You can go grab a book, lay out by the pool, anything. Go to sports deck, whatever you want to do, your days at sea. In Cozumel, let me tell you a little bit about what to expect in Cozumel. Port of Maya Pier, we're getting off, is very nice. Okay? Right there on the water, the boat will be parked out a little bit further away out on the pier. There'll be quite a bit of a walk to get in. There's only going to be one other Carnival ship that comes in after us that day. Will be the first Carnival ship to get in that morning. There's 2 others coming in. That'll be at the International Pier. You'll walk down that pier towards the mainland. You'll go through what they call Duffrey's, which is a duty-free shop that has all kinds of different things you can buy. So a lot of things you can't buy, such as alcohol, tobacco, or different things like that. Perfumes, fancy perfumes. You'll walk through there, and there's a bunch of different shops at Port of Maya. Port of Maya is kind of a locked-off Carnival pier. Okay, listen. Then once you have gone through Port of Maya Pier, again, you'll go through all those different shops, then you'll break out your excursions. Now, pretty much the ones that are going to Paradise Beach Break, and the ones that are going on the snorkeling, you're going to see the nice part of Cozumel. Okay, all the beach resort area. I will tell you this, that the landscape and so forth, there's not what you expect. The trees are very short. They're taller than people, but as we're going there, you don't see big tall pine trees or anything like that. Remember, Cozumel's an island that has been hit by many hurricanes, okay? So it's kind of more like shrubbery and trees. But if those of you that may possibly, that we're doing Tulum, if you do the other island tour, which I'll tell you about a little bit later, you meet a lot of poverty there. Okay, and what I mean by that, you'll see houses, and you think, man, people live there. Okay, that's just kind of a part of it. So be kind of expecting that. Float space. What to do on board? Get some sun, swim, water slides, trivia games, read a book, hang with friends, eat, sleep, team club, on-board activities. What to wear? During the day, dress comfortably, shorts, t-shirts, sandals, your swimsuits. So let me say this about swimsuits. Listen, if you're moving about the ship, have a cover up. Guys, don't walk around with just your swim trunks on if you go to the buffet or getting on the elevator. Wear a t-shirt, and when you get to the pool or wherever you're laying out, then take the t-shirt off. Ladies, same thing with bathing suits. Have a cover up, and then when you get to wherever you're going, take that cover up off. You with me? It asks, you don't need to walk through the buffet as people are sitting there trying to eat in a swimsuit. Okay? Unless, it's your swim trunks, you got a t-shirt on. Think about other people on board. Also, let me say this about swimsuits, because you're going to see this when we get on board. Check your swimsuit. Look at yourself in the mirror and make sure it looks good. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see people, listen, you're going to see people on this cruise ship that forgot to do that, I promise you. And you're going to see them and you're going to go, oh my God, they should have tried that on before they left. Okay? I'm not kidding you. Listen, okay? Don't be the people that everybody talks about. You with me? Okay, so, shorts. Athletic shorts are okay as well. Dress comfortably during the day. At dinner, dressy casual. Again, no jeans, no t-shirts, no shorts in the dining room. Now, Saturday, Sunday night, if you go to the buffet, you can wear shorts and blue jeans and t-shirts. That's fine. Okay, but I'm talking about dining room dinner. Formal dinner, again, ladies, Sunday dress, semi-formal dress, or formal dress. Guys, dress pants, at least a shirt. Well, at least dress pants, dress shirt, at least a tie. And I showed up with a shirt on the back and a coat. Now, in Cozumel, let's talk about the excursions. Wait, I'm sorry, I left the most important part. Food. Remember that all the food on board is free. Come on, meet you for a few more minutes. We'll take a break. All food on board is free with the exception of specialty coffees and desserts. There's a place he mentioned on the promenade. Remember the prom deck? Okay? He mentioned that has like specialty coffee, special desserts. You have to pay for them there, and those pieces of cake will look like that tall, that wide. Okay? And you pay $3 or $4 or so forth. But most everything is included. Remember, there's some food on the bottom of the menu we talked about earlier that they'll have a price next to it on the very bottom of the dinner menu. You have to pay for that. Room service, just so you know, during the day is usually free, but they do add gratuity to it. So you may have to pay $2 or $3 for room service. Okay, and then now they just changed this about 2 months ago. After 10 o'clock at night, if you order room service, there is a charge. Okay, and all that information is located in your room. Eat what you want, don't be wasteful. Again, come on, folks on the third row. Okay, Lido buffet, that's the main buffet. Listen, when you go to the buffet, there are usually at least 4 serving lines. They won't always all be the same. So if you look at this buffet over, when you walk in, there'll be 2 buffets, and further back, there'll be 2 more buffets. A lot of folks don't know that. They'll go on the inside buffet, come to the first line, and it'll be a mile long, and they don't think about walking no further back because there's more buffets. And so there may not be any lines. Sometimes this one may be Americana food, and the one on the other side over here may be Mexican food. So you may want to kind of walk around the buffet area and see what all's available. Sometimes 2 of them will be the same. Okay, do you follow me on that? So the Lido Deck Buffet, the 24-hour pizza and deli, which is right on the back of the ship, on the back side of the buffet up there. Going out between the buffet and the pool decks, there are usually 4 ice cream machines, 2 on each side, with soft serve ice cream. They have cups and cones. There's always a line for the ice cream. They'll have vanilla and chocolate and strawberry and different things like that. So ice cream machines are always going. There's a Guy's Burger joint. Listen to me. If you like hamburgers, Guy's Burger's only open like during lunch till about 3:30 to 4:30 or so. You gotta eat a Guy's Burger. This is Guy Fieri, the big chef, you know. It's Guy Fieri. Okay, that's a Guy's Burger joint. So, best hamburger I've ever eaten, I promise you. All right. So that is open in the afternoon. I always have me a Guy's Burger sometime in the afternoon to pull me through to dinner. Dining rooms are also open for breakfast, lunch, and then of course we have dinner reservations. But if you want to go to a sit down where you still have a waiter and an assistant waiter, the dining rooms are open for breakfast and lunch. You don't have a reservation, you just show up, say there's 3 of us, and they seat you. You won't have the same waiter you have at night, okay, necessarily. But it's a menu, and you can order from the menu. Again, everything on the menu there, is free. And so you can eat breakfast and lunch also in the dining rooms, and of course there's room service. Okay? Any questions about what to do, what to wear, where to eat? Tons of food. You're going to sleep a lot. You're going to eat a lot. I promise you. Yes, Mitchell.
Jacket not required 100%. Just a dress shirt and pants at the very least.
I prefer a jacket, just so we stand out. If you borrow one, great. I mean, at least a shirt and tie. Okay. Now, Cozumel. Let's talk real quick about the excursions. We're almost done here. We're on the last little part. Remember, those that are going to the Paradise Beach. We're going to meet at 8 o'clock that morning. Okay, the ship arrives around 8 o'clock. We're going to meet on the promenade deck. Remember the prom deck? Bunch of tables and different things on the walkway. We're going to meet there, and you've got excursion teams. So in other words, there's like 3 or 4 of you with an adult. Okay, that list is up here on the door. And what you're going to need to do is we'll come down off the boat. We'll walk through Puerto Maya Pier, and we're going to go to the taxi stand. And you and that adult, you 3 and that adult, are going to get a taxi. Miss Weaver's going to help you coordinate, and y'all are going to taxi down and meet me at Paradise Beach, where I'll give you your wristband or your ticket to get in, and then you'll spend your day in Paradise Beach. Okay? Those go on Mr. Schultz. What time do we start our meeting? 8:30? 8 o'clock. Those go on Mr. Schultz. All the snorkeling are going to meet at 8 o'clock as well down at the bottom of the central. We're going to give you this information a little bit later. You'll need to make sure, just like the group going to Paradise Beach, that you have your swimsuit, that you have a towel. You won't want to bring your own beach towel. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay? And he'll give you instructions from there. Y'all will go meet the boat to go snorkeling. those going to Discover Mexico, I think there's 4 of you, one adult, three students. I'll give y'all a little bit more information what time you'll meet as we get closer, okay? Those that were going to Tulum, I need you to start thinking about one of the other 3 excursions. I am looking at a 4th excursion. That 4th excursion is an ancient ruins of Cozumel bus tour that takes you to San Gervais or something like that, which is an archaeological site. It's not like Tulum that has the big tall pyramids. It just kind of has the bottom of the archaeological site where you see the stones and different things. But it's a bus tour that takes you all the way around the island, takes you to one of the beaches for a little bit for some photos, not for swimming, but as well. So if you were going to Tulum, there's 30-something of you going to Tulum. I'll need you to see me tomorrow. Other things, I've already talked about what to expect in Cozumel. Listen to me, last little bit. Halftime show shirts. Next Thursday, we will all wear halftime show shirts. Okay? They're up here, we've got some for sale. Make sure you got that. Luggage delivery, I shared that with you earlier. They'll take it off the bus, they'll get it on the boat for you, it'll be sitting outside your room. That's why we'll have luggage tags that will help you print when we do the online check-in. Okay? Same thing on Sunday night, the last night of the cruise. You'll have to move your luggage that you don't need. You'll keep clothes that you need for Monday and maybe some few bathroom things that you'll need Monday morning. You'll keep that in the room, but your main suitcases, you'll move those back out in the hallway before 11 o'clock on Sunday night. And the porters come through after 11 o'clock, get all that, and they get it down in order on the bottom of the ship, and then they move it back into the Port of Mobile the next morning, and then you get off the boat, find your luggage there at the port. Okay, they've got a big room with different zones that you'll get your luggage from. Work with your roommates to make sure that you don't duplicate things, such as your curling irons, hair dryers. There is a hair dryer in each room, just so you know. But make sure you're not duplicating. Fuses and breakers to listen. If you plug in a bunch of stuff in your room, you may flip the breaker. We had that last time on formal night. Was it last trip or 2 trips ago, Mr. Phillips?
That seems familiar.
Okay. Start flipping breakers, and you in the rooms around you may not have power. They can get the maintenance folks there, turn the power back on. So think about that kind of stuff as well. Bottled water, you can, when you come in to do our online registration, which we're going to do with you later on this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or the soft drink plans, we pay for that then. Okay, so you'll need to make sure that when you come in that you know if you're going to do the soft drink plan or the bottled water stuff. We're going to help you. You can order a case of water. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. Well, actually, it's a little bit further down on here. Okay? Potty. Let me say this. Guys, everybody's got to go to the bathroom. We have been on some band trips where somebody is too embarrassed to use number 2 because there's other people in the room, so they hold it. And about the 3rd day, they're not feeling really good at all. Okay? Bring bathroom spray. Use potties in your room. If you're too embarrassed to do that, there are public potties that are tucked away outside the dining room, that are tucked away in some of the public areas. Okay? That you can probably find a public toilet that's probably quite a bit more private. Okay? But understand that you've got to use the bathroom. You're going to see that your eating habits will change on board the boat as well, which will affect your digestive system. Okay? Beware of the potty. Let me explain. If you've been on a cruise ship, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? When you use the restroom, you have to close the lid because the button that you push is behind the lid. It is going to sound like a small rocket just took off from your toilet. Okay? Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it scares people. Just be aware when you hit that button that the air pressure of the bathroom is going to change because it uses a vacuum system to suck that stuff through wherever it goes. Okay, you follow me? Beware of the potty. Now, other stuff. Refund checks. If you put money down on your account, cash that is, they're not going to give you a refund check while we're on board. They're going to mail it to your home address, which we put in during the online check-in. Anything that's $10 or over. If it's under $10, they consider it to be a donation to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which you'll see they do St. Jude's dance thing on board, where they're always trying to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. But you may want to spend all your money, okay? Leave a little bit in there, but understand it's a donation. Okay? So if you want to check your account on board, you can do that from your Ship TV, or you can go to the customer service desk and they can print out what you have there. 18-year-olds, you can't go in the teen club, but again, we'll meet and talk about some things that you can do. I'll pull you guys all separately next week or so. Online check-in. Next 3 days. During your band classes, we're going to be pulling you guys in the office to do some online check-in. What you need for that is, if you got a passport, you will need a copy of your passport number. Matter of fact, if you're turning in a passport or birth certificate tonight, I want you with your cell phone before you turn it in to go ahead and take a picture of it. Okay? So that when you come in with us, we can look at the picture, get your passport number, and get the state of issuance, all that type of stuff that we need. Okay? So we will do the online check-in during class. Once we do the online check-in, we will print these luggage tags. Pieces of paper you fold up, it has your cabin number on it, you write your name on it, and then you actually fold that around your luggage and staple it onto your suitcase, and they're all color-coded by deck, and that way when the porters get your luggage off the bus, they know what deck to go on, and then when it gets to that deck, the room stewards know, okay, this is room 371, and they put it outside your deck, or outside your room. Okay? Also, we're going to give you some luggage tags a little bit different when we get your passport or birth certificate that are a lime green flip-flop. What they look like. It says Milton High School Band Cruise 2018, and then you write your name and address and all that to go on your suit, your check bags that the porters take. That's so that when we get off the boat on the last day, we walk into the Porter-Mobile, and there are thousands of suitcases. Okay, yours will be in whatever zone they've given you, but that way we can look around and see these lime green tags and know those are our suitcases. Does that make sense? When you bring us your birth certificate, we're going to give those to you. If you lose them, we don't have extras. Okay? Matter of fact, me and Ms. Schultz, some of us, we ordered just enough to get through, so we don't have extras. Some of us won't even have them. Okay? So make sure you know that. When you get on board the boat as well, we've ordered you neck lanyards. Okay? Your Carnival card, you're going to get a sell and sign card. They'll put a hole in it, but we've also bought you little plastic things to go on your lanyard where you can stick your ID in, you can stick your ship card, and that way it's always around your neck at all times. Remember, that ship card is what you're going to live on when you're on board the boat. Now, passport, birth certificates, remember to take a photo. Carnival Hub app, look at me real quick. One way, the main way we're going to communicate with you on board the ship is there's an app for your smartphone called the Carnival Hub app. Now, the Hub app is free. You can download it right now for your phones. Carnival Hub is what it's called. Okay, when you get on board the ship, it's going to activate it, and that app's going to kind of come to life where you have a map of what's going on the ship, where you have an itinerary of what's going on each day. You can even set alarms. If you want to play, 90s music trivia at 10 a.m., you can set an alarm, and 5 minutes before your phone will go ding, ding, ding. Don't forget, you're playing trivia at 10 o'clock. But also, it has a feature that we need you to pay for. It's $5 for the cruise, $5 flat fee, and that is the chat messaging. Okay? With chat messaging, this is something that Carnival just added about 2 years ago. With chat messaging, we have the ability, okay, to connect with anybody in the group. I'll get your folio numbers, and we're going to create a big chat group where Mr. Schultz and I can send announcements to you and to the parents. Okay? So that we can send here's what's going on tomorrow, make sure you have this tomorrow. You with me? So we can share announcements with you as we need to. It's important that as many of you that have smartphones get that Carnival Hub app. It's $5. It goes on your card as a charge once you get on board. Okay? But that way we can connect. Now inside that, you can create your own groups. You and your roommates and your trip parents can create a group where they can check in with you. Or you and 3 other friends. I've been on there and had like 6 or 7 different groups of different people that I communicated with. But that Carnival Hub app is extremely important, and we'll need you to see about getting that. Soda plan. If you want soft drinks for the cruise, $34.50 total. When we do the online check-in, you will register for that. If you want bottled water delivered to your room when you arrive, ladies, $4.50 for a 12-pack. We pre-order that before we arrive. You can take the soda plan out once you get on board. You cannot order water once you get on board. Okay, it's a pre-order kind of thing. If you want to bring your own sodas, you can bring a 12-pack of canned sodas. You cannot bring bottled. It must be canned. You bring it in your carry-on bag or stuff away in your suitcase. Okay, but it's got to be canned. Prescription medicines. We'll do just like we do with all band trips. Prescription medicines must be checked in. Okay, however, we've got some leniency on this that over-the-counter medicines you can keep on you. Why? Because some of you are going to need Dramamine or seasickness. Okay, or if you have headaches and you need Tylenol, you can bring that stuff with you. We'll have some Ms. Kennedy will, but the only thing you need to check with us for this trip is prescription medicines. You follow me? Not like before, okay? Anything that you have a prescription for, with the exception of inhalers. Okay, if you carry it to school as a prescription, then you can. All right? Everybody follow me on that? Seasickness. If you're prone to car sickness, there's a chance you'll get seasick. Dramamine works. Those patches that go behind the ear work. Those wristbands, you can buy them at like CVS, Walgreens. They're kind of elastic, go around and put a little pressure right there. Those tend to work for some people. They don't work real well for me. But something to think about with that. Sunscreen. If you lay it on the deck, you're going to get sunburned. Bring sunscreen. Bring beach towels. Now, Carnival, you see a couple below. Carnival has beach towels that they'll give you around the pool deck. You have to check them out with your card, check them back in. You'll have some in your room that are usually blue or yellow. Listen, if you take those towels off, and you can, if you take those towels off, you can check them out as you're getting off the ship to go to Paradise Beach or go snorkeling. If you check them out with your room and you don't return them back, they'll check your card again. It is $25 charge for their towel that you don't return. It's an expensive towel. They're not that fancy. Okay? So, you may want to bring your own beach towel. Remember, if it jiggles, swimsuit-wise, cover it up. Okay? If it jiggles, cover it up. Simple rules when you're trying your swimsuit. If something's jiggling, put something over the top of it. Okay? Make sure it fits. Use a mirror. Carnival beach towels. Now, last but not least, we got a call last week. Listen, last thing, and you're out of here for a few minutes. Call last week. With part of Festival of Seas, there's a company in South Carolina that is part of the package that we bought that is going to put together a storytelling DVD. So if you take great pictures, once we get back, I'm going to give you a little card. You can upload those pictures to our special site, and they're going to create DVDs for free, okay, for the students. And they'll also have the ability for you to download it, put it on your phone. They're going to create a DVD, kind of a picture show. So keep that in mind as well as we're on this trip. If you take great pictures, when we get back, you can upload the stuff. Okay? Cool? A lot of stuff. I know you're tired. I think you're tired. You should be in our shoes right now. Okay? Any questions real quick before we break for about 10 minutes? All right. Thank you.